Coming up next, an 80s rock song that's so catchy and so irresistibly powerful. It motivated a preteen version of myself to do the impossible. It was like a scene out of a John Hughes classic movie. We celebrate this amazing song with its backstory of trying to establish an underrated singer and deliver a band to the top of the charts. Did the song go all the way to the top, or did the band get sued for plagiarism and lose everything? Did the song give me the courage to prove the bullies wrong? You're going to find out next on Professor of Rock, brought to you by Zenny Eyewear. Hey, music junkies. Professor of Rock, always here to celebrate the greatest artists and the greatest songs of all time. Join our community to celebrate the greatest of the rock and roll era by subscribing below. You'll get our daily content. Also, you can support our mission of curating this great history by becoming a patron. With that said, it's time for another episode of Number One in Our Hearts, where of course we talk about a song that should have been a number one hit on the Billboard Hot 100, but for various reasons, it came up short. I always love doing this segment. It's kind of my homage to Casey Kasem. It's like many of you, I listen to his show every single week, the American Top 40. I rooted for my favorite songs to top the charts. Now, sometimes we cover a song that made it to the top 5 or somewhere in the top 10, and had it been released a month earlier or 2 months earlier or later, it would have hit the top spot. Various reasons, one song's number one for a longer time or whatever. But sometimes there are songs that barely make the top 40 or top 30, and they're head scratchers. I mean, it boggles the mind, how did this song not completely wipe out the competition? It's really that great. Ah Leah by Donnie Iris is absolutely one of those songs. How did it only hit number 29? It's a crime. Seriously, reflect back on the first time that you heard Ah Leah with that big vocal chorus and an instrumental track that just crashes into you like a massive Gregorian wall of sound that would have made Phil Spector or the Ronettes proud. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it before this segment. But if you're anything like me, when you first heard it, I'm sure you were immediately wondering, what is this? This band is so cool. I remember the first time that I heard it, I was swimming at this small town water park. It's called Lava Hot Springs in Idaho. And I remember that they had this diving board and it had like 3 platforms. One that was probably like 9 or 10 feet. And then the second level that was probably 20 feet. And a third and final level that was really high up. It was probably 27 to 30 feet. But for a young kid, it seemed like 150. It was like facing Bowser on the last level of Super Mario Brothers times 10. So my friends and I would dare each other, to climb up to that highest platform to jump off. I mean, if you could muster the courage to do that, you were immediately a legend. Because nobody had ever done it, at least nobody from our age group or our school. And I must have walked up to that third platform, over 100 times. And just as quickly I'd climb back down. I couldn't do it, but nobody could really do it. I mean, the fear would just push us down every time. It was really high up. Well, this time I got really close to the edge and I was about to chicken out and scurry back down the ladder like I had so many times before. And then it happened. I mean, this song started blaring out of the overhead speakers, and I didn't recognize it. Boom, this heavy guitar and those words. Leah, it's been a long, long time. You're such a sight. You're looking better than a body has a right to. Love that. You're looking better than a body has a right to. At that moment, the moment that those lyrics popped, I noticed this beautiful blonde-haired lifeguard, twirling her whistle. She was looking right at me. It's almost like she was daring me or wondering if I'd have the guts to dive off that platform. With that song blasting out of those speakers, full force, the gorgeous lifeguard, beautiful red lips, just staring at me, who I swear to this day, her name was Leah. I mean, it had to be. Would have been perfect. Everything was moving in slow motion, or should I say, moving in stereo. And that's exactly what this moment felt like. It was like the Phoebe Cates moment in Fast Times at Ridgemont High when she's climbing out of the pool. Different song, definitely a different rating. This was a PG rating. But in a daze, I started walking, but instead of walking toward the ladder to retreat, which was what I meant to do, I walked right off that platform. And as the chorus of the song hit, I was falling through the air at light speed. I was gonna die. The last thing I remember was that beautiful lifeguard smiling at me right before I hit the water and right when the word spiraled. In a millisecond, I came up out of the water just gasping for air and tried to play it cool, and then I realized what I'd just done. I had went off the top platform. After years of being the king of the nerds, I was finally gonna be a legend. Just then my friends were walking by, got out of the pool, I was excited. I said, dude, did you guys see that? I did it. I dove off that third platform. It was amazing. It was awesome. Going crazy like the 9-year-old that I was. And they laughed right in my face, No, you didn't. No way, Reader. Nobody saw it, so it didn't happen. I was like, guys, it happened. I did it again, Yeah, whatever, dweeb, in your dreams or something like that. They shook their heads and they walked away in judgment. And just like that, my hopes were just dashed. So I put my head down and walked away in defeat. I heard this sweet voice say, hey, stud, that was quite a dive. I don't think I've ever seen anybody your age do that. I looked up and I saw that beautiful blonde lifeguard. She winked at me and she gave this little laugh, and I'll never forget that. She said, pretty rad. Stay cool, kid. At that moment, she was probably like 17 and I was 9 years old. It wasn't meant to be, but what a comeback. She said that. The final chords of Ah Leah rang out as I walked away with my head held high, feeling like $1 million. The DJ actually said that was Ah Leah from Donnie Iris from back in 1980. I must have missed the song in those earlier years somehow, which kind of makes sense, because I didn't really start listening to Casey Kasem's Top 40 Countdown till 1982 or so. I don't think they played it a lot on the radio in Idaho, but I was hooked. I went home that night and made it my life's mission to get that song, like so many other times. I requested it the next day on our local radio station. I recorded it on my TDK tape from the radio. And I kid you not, a few days later, I met my cousins who had cable TV. Even better than that, he had MTV. And all of a sudden I heard those familiar guitar chords. It's like that song was calling out to me. Now, like I said before, I didn't know anything about Donnie Iris at the time because I thought it was a band. I expected to see like this, big strapping rocker on MTV. And I have to admit that when I first heard the song at the swimming pool, I thought it was like this new arena rock band, like Rick Springfield's voice fronting Night Ranger, kind of in that vein. But instead, as I watched the video, there it was, Donnie Iris with this weird black-haired wig, a bow tie, frumpy suit, and dark horn-rimmed glasses. And I was like, really? He looked like a young Eugene Levy doing an impersonation of David Byrne or something. But I got over the initial shock. I didn't really care what the singer looked like. Donnie Iris was cool because he had co-created this amazing rock song from the heavens that sounded too good to be true. It was that good. In my opinion, it ended up being one of the coolest songs from the 80s, and that's why it's number one in my heart and hopefully yours as well. Fact of the matter is, Donnie Iris is a clever songwriter, he's a great musician, and an amazing singer who can actually looks are deceiving anyway, and ultimately not that important, especially in the 80s. Let's be honest. Donnie Iris had big success in 1970 when he penned the number 2 pop hit, The Rapper, while he was a member of the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania-based band, The Jaggers. That song sold over 1 million copies. It was the band's only hit. Ah Leah was the result of a writing collaboration between Donnie Iris and his friend Mark Avsek. The two had met in the waning days of the band Wild Cherry, the band that gave us Play That Funky Music, of course. Avsek played keyboards on Play That Funky Music, and Iris joined the band afterwards. Now, following the breakup of Wild Cherry, Iris and Avsek started working on new music, and they produced a disco track called Bring On the 80s that went nowhere. Since it was 1979, disco was dying off, so the duo decided to focus on more rock-oriented material. Avsek and Iris would usually begin their writing sessions by creating a rhythm track and then come up with some lyrics. Now, they were working on a song in Donnie's basement with the intention of crafting an anti-war song. Avsek had an idea of the song sounding like a chant, and somehow his attempt at a chant sounded like Ah Leah. And Donnie heard the name Leah, The war song was really going nowhere, so they changed the plan and switched from a war song to a love song. Donnie always liked the name Leah because it reminded him of a woman named Leah that was one of his bandmates in the Jaggers that he was dating. Now, the anti-war chant became a song about a girl named Leah, Ah Leah. It's such a distinctive audio spectacle. Even though it was released all the way back in 1980, today it still sounds fresh. So all 4 band members of Donnie Iris and the Cruisers contributed mightily to the song's power. Avsek played the synthesizer and he created the bridge that sounds like a digital version of Phantom of the Opera pipe organ. Kind of like that. Followed by that crunching guitar solo by Marty Lee Hone. Albert and McLean played that snappy bass groove. Kevin Valentine banged out the drums, giving Ah Leah a driving backbeat, and Donnie Iris, of course, delivered the towering vocal. Mark Avsek also produced the track, and in his genius studio wizardry of stacking those vocal tracks is what gave Ah Leah that memorable chanting effect. It's so brilliant. Now, as cool as Ah Leah was, it stalled at number 29 on the Billboard Hot 100, like I said, and only fared a little bit better on the mainstream rock chart where it peaked at number 19. Once the song began to get a radio play, Mark Avsek and Donnie Iris were unabashedly sued for copyright infringement. They were accused of stealing the song. Now, knowing that they didn't steal from anyone, much less someone else's song, Avsek and Iris vigorously fought back, spending over $100,000 in legal fees to defend themselves. Thankfully, they were exonerated by a jury, but the experience left the guys really deflated and broke. Avsek was particularly scarred by the accusation and having to prove their innocence in the first place. So at 32 years of age, he decided to forgo a path to become an attorney. Now today, Mark Avsek is an expert IP attorney based in Cleveland, specializing in music-related intellectual property. In 1981, Donnie Iris released the album King Cool. That included the singles Love Is Like a Rock. That reached number 37 on the Billboard Hot 100. And My Girl, that was his highest charting hit, rising to number 25. He continued to record music and perform live. In 2010, Iris and Avsek released a Christmas-themed album titled Ah Leah. 2015, Iris was nominated for a Pittsburgh Rock and Roll Legends Award, honoring artists with 20-plus years in the music business. I gotta thank Donnie Iris, Mark Avsek, and the rest of the Cruisers for giving us Ah Leah, a timeless original rocker that is number 1 in our hearts, and a song that, along with that beautiful Lifeguard, gave me the courage to dive, or more accurately, accidentally walk up the 3rd level diving board. I didn't quite make it to legendary status that day, but I gained a lifetime rocker and I won the heart of the Lifeguard princess, even if it was only for a few seconds. Every time I hear Donnie Iris belt that classic out, it just takes me away to a happy place. Ah Leah indeed. Leave us a comment about Donnie Iris and this amazing song. Tell us a memory that you have from this one. What other songs should we cover on this show? To hear the song, click on our playlist. And to own this song, go to our Amazon links. You can also get the shirt of the day, this exact Journey shirt, if you go down there. It'll be in the links. Join our community if you like this content. Subscribe. Become a patron to help our mission of keeping the music alive. Until next time, 3 chords and the truth, my friends. Talk to you soon.